Hey, yo. It's your boy Glizzy the Gremlin. What's up, fellow gremlins? What's up, baby gremlins, grandma gremlins? Before I start this video, I need everybody to like, comment, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Yes, sir. If y'all can hit that notification, that'll be cool so I can get every single drop. But today, I'm surprised I ain't seen this yet. It was a St. Louis man charged with killing a woman, leaving her body in chair with bag over her. I think I did hear about this. That's crazy. I straight heard about this, bro. I didn't know if it was like what was to it. So we about to get into it, man. See what they talk.
Finally getting answers more than 3 years after a mother was found murdered in her South City home.
Only Shoshana Stahl spoke to the sister, finding some solace and more questions after police made an arrest.
Welcome to the True Crime Vault. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Alvatyne Thomas was a 31-year-old woman living in St. Louis, Missouri, specifically in the 4000 block of Oregon Avenue within the Dutchtown neighborhood. She was the devoted mother of 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. Family and friends describe Thomas as a hardworking and loving individual, renowned not only for her dedication to her family, but also her talents as an amazing cook and her vibrant, kind-hearted demeanor. Professionally, Thomas worked in the hospitality industry, and by all accounts, her children formed the focal point of her life, with her devotion to them recognized as unwavering by her family, a trait especially emphasized by those closest to her. Beneath this public life, however, Thomas was enduring a tumultuous and abusive relationship with Karl Mayberry, the father of her youngest child. Her family later shared with investigators that Thomas had been trapped in a cycle of abuse, enduring both emotional and physical violence, which would ultimately play a significant role in the events that followed. In late December 2021, Thomas continued her daily life as a dedicated mother and worker, maintaining communication with Mayberry, who had a history of violent behavior and was on federal probation for previous convictions, including assault and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Text messages reviewed by investigators showed that on the evening of December 27, 2021, Thomas informed Mayberry via text that she was at home and preparing to go to sleep. This communication became critical later in establishing a precise timeline of her final hours. On December 27, 2021, at approximately 10 p.m., St. Louis Metropolitan Police officers responded to Thomas's home for a welfare check after concerns had been raised about her well-being. Upon entering the residence, officers encountered a horrific scene on the first floor. Thomas was found deceased.
Yeah, I knew about this, but I didn't know this shit was on the south of St. Louis. That's crazy as hell.
Seated upright in a chair, her body displayed extensive and severe injuries that indicated a brutal and violent attack. The forensic details were striking and disturbing. Thomas had suffered a fatal gunshot wound to her back. There was also
damn, niggas is out here shooting female back and shit.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
extreme swelling visible on her forehead, a severed ear, and multiple puncture wounds distributed across her torso. Her hands were found bound behind her back. She was nude from the waist down and had a plastic bag securely taped around her head. Additionally, a white t-shirt and a black electric cord had been tightly wrapped around her neck, and a gray blanket had been draped over her head. Finally, bleach had been poured over her body, a clear indication of an attempt to destroy forensic evidence and hinder the murder investigation. There was no sign of forced entry, which suggested the perpetrator was either known to the victim or had direct access to the residence. The brutality of the crime scene immediately triggered an intensive investigation by homicide detectives. Forensic experts meticulously documented all injuries, bindings, and any potential traces left by the suspect. The nature of the injuries, particularly the binding of hands, the bag over her head, and the application of bleach, pointed to a perpetrator with a personal attachment to the victim and a clear intent to destroy physical evidence. Investigators conducted interviews with family members who disclosed the ongoing domestic abuse Thomas faced at the hands of Karl Mayberry. Detectives soon identified Mayberry as the primary suspect, leveraging both testimonial and digital evidence.
Man, if y'all from around here, man, y'all know who this man is. I done seen this man too many times, bro.
When initially interviewed by police, Karl Mayberry claimed he was at work during the time frame that Thomas was killed. However, follow-up interviews with his coworkers quickly unraveled his alibi. Multiple coworkers confirmed that Mayberry had left work for several hours during the critical window when the crime was believed to have occurred. Upon his eventual return, he was observed wearing different clothes and appeared emotionally distraught, which further raised suspicion. Digital forensics played a crucial role in solidifying the case against Mayberry. Investigators executed search warrants on both Mayberry's and Thomas's cell phones, focusing on messages, call logs, and internet searches. Data retrieved from Thomas's phone confirmed that she had been texting Mayberry shortly before her death, providing a direct link in the timeline just moments before the murder. On Mayberry's phone, detectives found a series of incriminating digital artifacts. Notably, immediately after Thomas's murder, Mayberry sent text messages to an unnamed individual stating that Thomas had been found dead in the kitchen with a plastic bag wrap around her head, a detail that at that time had not yet been publicly released by authorities. This message strongly indicated his direct knowledge of the crime scene exclusive to the perpetrator. Furthermore, Mayberry's device revealed that around the time of Thomas's death, he had conducted online searches such as first-degree murder defenses and can he say, she say, be used against a person for murder in Missouri. Additionally, he texted a criminal defense attorney to inquire how much it would cost to defend a murder, further suggesting an awareness of his legal jeopardy. Although investigators amassed considerable evidence, administrative and procedural delays impeded swift legal action. On May 4, 2022, nearly 5 months after the murder, homicide detectives requested a meeting with the then state Lewis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's office to discuss charging Mayberry. This request went unanswered, and during this period, Mayberry went into federal custody for an unrelated firearms charge. After his release, detectives sought to renew their efforts under the new circuit attorney Gabe Gore, who, upon reviewing the case, authorized the necessary search warrants and murder charges. Mayberry was finally arrested on May 7, 2025, more than 3 years after Thomas's death. Upon his arrest, Mayberry was in possession of a loaded firearm, despite his status as a convicted felon, leading to an additional charge of illegal possession of a weapon. Mayberry, now 34 years old, has since been charged with first-degree murder and weapons offenses. He remains held without bond at the St. Louis City Justice Center, with his legal proceedings still pending as of May 2025. At the time of Thomas's death, he was on federal probation for previous violent offenses. His history included convictions for first-degree assault and being a felon in possession of a firearm, for which he had previously served a 37-month federal prison sentence and was subject to 2 years of supervised release.
Tonight, a family finally getting answers more than 3 years after a mother was found murdered in her South City home.
Only Shoshana Stahl spoke to the sister, finding some solace and more questions after police made an arrest.
Well, that shit say 3 years. Let me tell you something about St. Louis, man. Not only do they let you get outside and carry, goddamn me, open carry, goddamn me, but they ain't giving you no time for murders, bro. And even if there's a witness, bro, that don't even count as nothing, bro. Hey, that should tell you something, because if I out here for first-degree murders, they bumping them down to second. And when they bumping them down to second, they only get like 17 years, bro. So, extra gun charge, what's that? 3 years for a felon with a gun. Like 3 years, maybe 5. But it don't be nothing, bro. You're like, oh yeah, I just took somebody's life. I can get out in about 15 years. Like, all right, yeah, that's how the system works. Shit.
Spoke to the family of Alvatyne Thomas today, who say it was a sign from God that a man was charged in her murder right before Mother's Day, since she loved her 5 kids deeply.
Love her and I miss her.
She looked just
torn.
After nearly 4 years, Dawana Coleman feels a sense of peace. Now someone is being charged in her younger sister's brutal murder.
Never would think this would be Christmas, would have been my last day seeing her.
On December 27, 2021, St. Louis Metropolitan Police found Alvatyne Thomas dead inside her home. Investigators say she'd been shot in the back, had a plastic bag taped around her head, and had bleach poured over her body. On Wednesday, this man, Karl Mayberry, was charged in her murder.
I already knew that he had a part of doing it. It wasn't nobody else that would, do that to her.
Mayberry is the father of Alvatyne's youngest child. He's also a convicted felon who just finished a federal sentence. Alvatyne's other sister, Shanice Johnson, says hearing about the arrest broke her.
I'm happy, but at the same time, I don't feel justice will be ever served because she's gone and we never gonna get her back. The kids never gonna see her again.
Probably gonna be able to get back out.
And you still get to eat, take a bath, use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Investigators say Mayberry had searched, quote, first-degree murder defenses and, quote, can he say, she say, be used against a person for murder in Missouri. According to police, he also texted a criminal defense attorney asking how much it would cost to defend a murder. Johnson is asking what took so long for Mayberry to be charged.
I stayed on it. I stayed watching the news. Yes, he should have been charged because y'all had evidence right then and there. The day that y'all called the family, y'all told us y'all had evidence.
Thursday, Alvatyne's sister's oldest son, nieces, and nephews came together outside the home where she was murdered, leaving flowers and balloons to honor her.
I love you, sister. Happy Mother's Day early.
She was always there. She was hard-working. Could nobody tell her nothing about herself, her kids. She was just that girl.
An amazing cook, a hard worker, and a loving person to her family, and especially her 5 kids. While the arrest brings some closure, the loss leaves a hole in the hearts of the people who loved her.
I just miss her. I just don't understand. And then how people just can do something to hurt someone so loving like her.
So why did it take so long for prosecutors to charge Mayberry? SLMPD tells me on May 4th, 2022, homicide detectives requested a meeting with former Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's administration to present the facts of this case and discuss charges. Police say they never received a response to that request. Mayberry then went back into federal custody for a separate crime. Police say their investigations continued, and when Mayberry was released, they requested another meeting with current Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore. That led to a search warrant issued and the arrest. In the studio, Shoshana Stahl, First Alert 4.
Police say they have a renewed commitment to review cases from Gardner's tenure. In the meantime, the court denied bond for Mayberry. We are working to learn when he is expected to appear in court.
The reaction from Alvatyne Thomas's family was one of devastation, mingled with the bittersweet relief that justice was finally being pursued. Her sisters, Dawana Coleman and Shanice Johnson, expressed profound loss and lingering skepticism that true justice could ever be achieved, as nothing could restore Alvatyne to her 5 children and family. The delay in Mayberry's arrest and charging fueled ongoing frustration and pain for her loved ones, who had long maintained that Mayberry was responsible for her demise given his history of abuse. Our heartfelt condolences go to Alvatyne Thomas's family. As a loving mother of 5 whose life was tragically cut short, her story reminds us of domestic violence's devastating impact and the critical need for justice system improvements. The long-delayed prosecution in her case highlights serious flaws in protecting those at risk. May her memory inspire meaningful change to prevent similar tragedies and better support survivors. Until next time, stay safe and take care of one another.
Hey man, with that being said, man, they ain't giving out no time, man. At all, not for real. You know? And while your loved one's gone, they got a chance to, chill, all that, chance at freedom, all that. I say let them out. Let they family have a way with them, but that's on y'all. That's what it is. I say let them out because it ain't fair. It ain't justice. It ain't right. That shit wrong. You killing women. You sick. I ain't gonna lie. But with that being said, it's Glizzy the Gremlin. I'm out, man.